Hi everyone, my name is Siddhant Miglani, your German language teacher. Welcome back to my channel, German with Siddhant. In today's video, I'm going to teach you the concept of perfect tense in German language. In this lesson, I have explained this grammar topic with n number of rules and examples so that you guys can easily understand how to construct a sentence in perfect tense. So, let's start the session. Perfect tense in German. In today's lesson, I'm going to teach you the entire concept of perfect tense with all rules and variations explained in a detailed manner. First, we have the translation for the word perfect tense. The word is perfekt, or we can call it Partizip. Now we have the definition. We use perfect tense to report on past events which still affects our present situation and mainly used in verbal conversations. We have two types of verbs in German language. First, regular verbs, which is also called as weak verbs. Second, irregular verbs, which are the combination of strong or mixed verbs. Here's an important point to note. Perfect tense is formed either with regular verbs or irregular verbs. Now the question arises, how to construct a sentence in perfect tense. We use two helping verbs, haben or sein, in a given sentence. So, in order to make a sentence in perfect tense, either we have to use the haben verb or sein verb in a given sentence. Our next important point is conjugate the helping verbs, haben or sein, and place them at the second position in a given sentence. It is a rule that we need to follow. We have to conjugate the helping verbs, either sein or haben, and we have to place them at the second position in a sentence. The perfect form of the verb is always placed at the last position in a given sentence. This is very important. I'm repeating this. The perfect form of the verb is always placed at the last position in a given sentence. In majority of the cases, the perfect tense is formed with haben verb. Usage of haben verb. Now we are going to learn where we have to use the haben form. Verbs that express no change of place or state in a given sentence, we always use haben verb. Now we have three examples here. First we have the verb lesen, which means to read. For example, I'm reading a book. So there is no change of place. No movement is involved when a person is reading a book. Our next example is sehen, which means to see. Again, no movement is involved. Schreiben, which means to write. For example, I'm writing an article. Again, there is no change of place or state. Reflexive verbs always use haben form as a helping verb in a given sentence. We have two examples here for reflexive verbs. Sich erinnern, which means to remember. Sich ärgern means to get angry. Now, for this category, we always use haben form as a helping verb to make a sentence in perfect tense. Usage of sein form. Verbs that have no accusative object and express change of place, situation and state, we always use sein form. We have two examples here. Fahren, which means to travel. Let's take an example. I'm traveling from New Delhi to Jaipur. As we can figure it out, there is a change of place from New Delhi to Jaipur. So, this is a movement verb. Our next example is gehen, which means to go. Let's say I'm going to the supermarket. So, there is a change of place. From my residence, I'm going to a different place. Now we have two more examples for the change of state. The word is aufstehen, which means to wake up. Let's take an example. Today, I woke up at 9 a.m. So, if I talk about 6 a.m. in the morning, I was sleeping at that time. So, as we can figure it out, there is a change of state. At 6 a.m. I was sleeping and at 9 a.m. I woke up. So, change of state. Aufstehen, which means to wake up. Our next example is werden, which means to become. Let's say around 9 to 10 years back, I was studying in a school. I was a student. However, now I am a teacher. So there is a change of occupation. So this same example comes under the category of change of state. So we call it werden, which means to become. Henceforth, this verb also contains movement, as there is a change of occupation, or we can say change of state. Perfect tense with regular verbs. There's a rule that we need to follow if we want to make a sentence in perfect tense specifically with regular verbs. The rule says ge plus verb stem plus t. Now first of all, we need to understand what is a verb stem. Our first example is hören, which is a verb, means to hear. So we need to discard en from the verb. If we discard en, we get the remaining word hör. So hör is considered as the verb stem. I'm repeating this again. Hören is the verb which means to hear. Discard en from the given verb, we get hör. So the remaining part hör is considered as the verb stem. Now let's build the perfect form for the verb hören. The same rule applies here. Ge, verb stem plus t. So write ge, then write the verb stem hör and then t. So it becomes gehört, which is the perfect form of the verb hören. Through these sentences, you guys can easily understand what all changes we have to implement to make a simple present tense sentence into perfect tense. The sentence says, Ich höre Musik. The sentence is in present tense. I hear music. As we all know, hören is the verb which contains no movement or change of place. So in this case, we have to use the haben form. We have to conjugate the haben form at the second position. We have to write the perfect form always at the last position. Now we have the sentence with perfect tense. Ich habe Musik gehört. Habe is the conjugated form of the verb haben with the pronoun ich. So we have to keep this conjugation at the second position. Then gehört, which is the perfect form of the verb hören, which is always at the last position. So ich habe Musik gehört. Now we have the variation in the same category. If the stem of the verb ends with d or t, we add extra e in perfect form. The rule says ge plus verb stem plus at. The verb is warten, which means to wait. Discard en from the verb, we get wart. So this remaining word wart is considered as the verb stem. Let's build the perfect form. The same rule applies here. Ge verb stem plus at. So ge plus wart plus at. Gewartet, which is the perfect form of the verb warten. Again we have two sentences both in present and perfect tense. Wartet auf seinen Vater. He is waiting for his father. The verb warten has no change of place or state. So we have to use haben form. Conjugate the haben form and place it at the second position. Then we have gewartet, which is the perfect form of the verb warten. Keep it at the last position. So we have the sentence in perfect tense. Hat auf seinen Vater gewartet. Hat is the conjugation of the verb haben with the pronoun er. So hat is at the second position and gewartet is at the last position. Hat auf seinen Vater gewartet. He was waiting for his father. Our next variation is verbs that end with eren follows a different rule. The rule says verb stem plus t. The verb is studieren, which means to study. As we can see, the concerned verb ends with eren, I-E-R-E-N. So discard en from the verb, we get studier as the verb stem. The perfect form, verb stem plus et, write the verb stem studier plus t. We get studiert, which is the perfect form of the verb studieren. Two sentences again, both in present and perfect tense. Du studierst an der Universität. The verb studieren has no change of place or state, so we have to use the verb haben. Conjugate the verb haben and place it at the second position. And studiert, which is the perfect form of the verb studieren, keep it at the last position. The perfect tense, du hast an der Universität studiert. Hast is the conjugation of the verb haben with the pronoun du. So, the verb is at the second position, and studiert, which is the perfect form of the verb studieren, keep it at the last position. Now we have perfect tense with irregular verbs. Our first category is strong verbs. The rule says ge plus verb stem plus en. We have the verb fahren, which means to travel. Discard en from the verb, we get fahr. The remaining word fahr is considered as the verb stem. Follow the same rule and build the perfect form. Ge plus verb stem plus en. Ge, write the verb stem, fahr, then en. We get gefahren, which is the perfect form of the verb fahren. Petra fährt nach Goa. This particular verb contains change of place, or we can say this verb has movement. So we have to use the verb sein. Conjugate the sein form and place it at the second position. And then gefahren, which is the perfect form of the verb fahren. Keep it at the last position. Peter ist nach Goa gefahren. Now ist is the conjugation of the verb sein, and ist is the conjugation with the person Peter, which comes under the pronoun er, which means he. So the verb is in second position and gefahren last position. Our next example is kommen, which means to come. Discard en from the verb, we get the verb stem komm. Follow the same rule and build the perfect form. Ge, verb stem plus en, write ge, then komm, verb stem, then en. We get gekommen, which is the perfect form of the verb kommen. Ich komme zur Party. The verb kommen contains movement. Again, we have to use the sein form. Conjugate the sein form and keep it at the second position. And gekommen, last position, which is the perfect form. Ich bin zur Party gekommen. Bin is the conjugation of the verb sein with the pronoun ich. So the verb is in second position and gekommen, perfect form, last position. Now we have the variation with the same category. The vowel I of the verb stem gets changed to u. We have the same rule, ge plus verb stem plus en. The verb is finden, which means to find. Discard en from the verb and we have vowel change here. The vowel I changes to u. So we get fund, which is considered as the verb stem. Follow the same rule, ge plus verb stem plus en. Write ge, then fund, then en. We get gefunden, which is the perfect form of the verb finden. Ich finde mein Buch. The verb finden has no change of place or movement, so we have to use the haben form. Conjugate the haben form at the second position. And then gefunden, the perfect form, write this verb at the last position. Ich habe mein Buch gefunden. Habe is the conjugation of the verb haben with the pronoun ich. So the verb is at the second position and gefunden, perfect form, is at the last position. The vowel ei of the verb stem gets changed to ie. We have the verb schreiben, which means to write. Discard en from the verb and we have a vowel change here. Ei changes to ie. So the verb stem is schrieb. Ei changes to ie. Follow the same rule and build the perfect form. Ge, verb stem plus en. Then write ge, then schrieb, verb stem, then en. We get geschrieben, which is the perfect form of the verb schreiben. Ich schreibe einen Brief. The verb schreiben contains no movement. Again, use the haben form, conjugate the same verb and write it at the second position. Then the perfect form geschrieben, write this verb at the last position. Ich habe einen Brief geschrieben. Habe is the conjugated form of haben with the pronoun ich. The verb is in second position and geschrieben, perfect form, last position. Ich habe einen Brief geschrieben. Our last category is mixed verbs. The rule says ge plus verb stem plus t. The verb is kennen, which means to know. Discard en from the verb and then we have a vowel change. E changes to a. So we get the verb stem kann as e changes to a. Follow the rule ge plus verb stem plus t. Ge plus verb stem kann then t. So we get gekannt, the perfect form of the verb kennen. Ich kenne viele Leute. The verb kennen contains no movement again, so use the verb haben form, conjugate the same and write it at the second position. Then gekannt is the perfect form, keep it at the last position. Ich habe viele Leute gekannt. Habe is the conjugation of haben with the pronoun ich. The verb is in second position and gekannt, perfect form, again last position. Ich habe viele Leute gekannt. Sometimes the verb stem changes its form completely. The rule says ge, verb stem, t. We have the verb denken, which means to think. Discard en from the verb. We have a vowel change. E changes to a. The verb stem denk changes to dark. So the verb stem is changing its form completely. So we get the verb stem dark. Follow the same rule. Ge plus verb stem plus t. Ge, then dark, then t. We get gedacht, which is the perfect form of the verb denken. Ich denke an meine Familie. Again, the verb denken has no movement. Use the haben form, conjugate it, place it at the second position. Then gedacht, perfect form, keep it at the last position. Ich habe an meine Familie gedacht. Habe, the conjugation of haben with the pronoun ich, and then keep it at the second position, and gedacht, perfect form, last position. That's all for today's lesson. Perfect tense in German language is quite an easy topic. According to me, there are 4 major things that we need to keep in mind. First, follow the rule properly. Second, which helping verb do we use? Haben or sein form? Third, conjugate the helping verbs haben or sein at the second position. Fourth, keep the perfect form of the verb at the last position. Thanks for watching the lesson. Goodbye.